The truth is refreshing. The truth is refreshing. Shout out to Bill Burr on this one here. It's going to be Bill Burr taking on two other comedians, if I'm not mistaken, and they're going to try to get a cheap "fat people are ruining things" joke, like routine out of him, but they end up getting something else. They end up getting something else. Shout out to Bill Burr on this one. See if I can play this. If my mouse keeps disappearing on me. Here we go.
Americans are not that fat. It's the fat Americans who are extra fat. Most Americans are the same as the British.
Well, our food supply is poison.
Yeah.
Fair use, by the way. Fair use.
Yeah. It was taken over by one group of people, and they own the rights to the seeds and all of that type of stuff. And they forced out all of these farmers. If their seeds blew onto their property, they could sue them for using their seeds. And the media just ignored all of that because they get paid by them. That's sort of what is going on globally. Is everybody's is just choosing money of the bag, as fucking kids say nowadays. That's what the problem is. Nobody is, everybody's screaming and yelling about shit that doesn't matter. Like stand-up comedians, they'll yell about that, but they won't talk about literally people poisoning their own countrymen. I mean, they should be fucking put to death for what they did. There you go. There's a hot take. I mean, I know if I did it, if I fucking went to one donut shop and put something in a fucking donut that hurt somebody or caused them to have some sort of medical episode, I would not be sitting here right now. But they somehow, you know how it is. Catholic Church can do what they do. Kind of move people around and everything's all right. As long as you fucking, you're paying people, it's good. So that's what it is.
Americans are not that.
Hold on for a second, guys. The truth is so refreshing. The truth. People are not ready for the truth, man. They're not ready for the truth. It's easy. It's easy to just get a comedian on there because Bill Burr has had his fat jokes or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're just trying to get a cheap routine out of me, I might pull that in. I might pull what Bill Burr did. Because at the end of the day, that's just surface level stuff. We're talking about fat people. That's surface level. Why are they fat? Yeah, they don't exercise. Yeah, but why also? What's behind all this? How is it that I know fat people, right? Or people that were on the chubby side. They go to a different country. They live there for a second. They eat more. They say they ate more than what they did here, and they said they lost weight. What does that tell you about the food supply that we have here? We all know our food supply is poison. There's been a few comedians that's been willing to say that on the record. Bill Burr is one of them. Corey Holcomb is one of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's very few people that have acknowledged that. Very few people that talked about the seeds. If people like what Bill Burr was talking about, the seeds, those are facts. Let me give you a different analogy because I like what Bill Burr did. I like what Bill Burr did, right? In this space, right? Dudes think they're big and bad, and they think they're above, the average 304. Meaning, they will have a show, a table. They invite 304s, escorts, porn stars, OnlyFans models of that sorts. Bring them on there. They know exactly who they are, right? They bring these 304s on the show. And they're preaching to them about how they're not a wife. Or they have these 304s on the show and they're quote unquote debating them and winning debates against them. Right. That does not impress me. That's another way for me to say that does not impress me. Let's get to the root of the problem. Because if we get to the root of the problem, you'll find out, particularly, the conservatives that like to go on these shows like the Whatever podcast, Fresh and Fit, any other show that has that format, you'll have the table full of 304s and OnlyFans models and adult film stars, which includes OnlyFans models, right? IG model thoughts, 304s. And they'll talk about, oh, you're not a wife and what's your body count? This is pointless stuff. They already know They already know they're for the streets. They know they're not a wife material. They're just there to get their numbers up. A lot of the times I'll see these shows and they're trolling. A lot of those women are trolling. They know that. I'll see some of these clips and I'm like, oh, they're trolling. They're trolling. They know what's going to come after that. They know there's going to be a lot of dudes hate following them and watching them. Then they're going to have a lot of followers simping over them and they're there to get their numbers up. Now, a lot of these guys, and I'm not trying to say, but there's some dudes that now they basically have permanent residency on the show, right? You'll have these conservatives, right? Have permanent residency on these shows, basically there to quote unquote preach to them how they're 304s and they're quote unquote ruining society. This is not helping. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's get to the root of that problem. I'm sorry, this clip that Bill Burr did, it inspired me because somebody had, there have been people that try to put me in similar situations where they think I'm just going to rant on 304s and no, because I already know what the root of the issue is. And this is what nobody wants to touch on. Take the average 304 off the panel, right? Her life. You always see this running theme. Nobody has ever asked them, okay, when did you? Nobody really asks the real questions. Like, when did you want to become an OnlyFans model, or when did you want to become a sugar baby, or when did you want to become an adult film star? And you'll be shocked if you actually ask these people. They'll shock you with what age they'll say this. And then because once they tell you the age, you'll be like, wait, at 13, 14, you wanted to become, how do you come to that conclusion? Everything will start to make sense from there. Oh, so that means damn. Because I remember I remember watching a Fresh and Fit clip. They had a whole panel of women and they were being honest about when they lost their V card. And what's interesting is I haven't seen any more clips of that anymore. Like, it seems like I don't even think they even ask women those questions anymore because women on there were saying nobody said 18. Women, like the highest age was like 16 or 17. A lot of the women were saying 13 and 14 years old. And people were just so shocked. And people were in the comment section. They were going, oh my God, 13, 14, how? But then you got to start doing the math. I remember another panel. I saw a clip of women when you'll have when the 304s will be honest and start talking about real stuff. They'll tell you, oh yeah, most of these girls out here, they be having 75 body count, 80 body count, 90. Let's put two and two together. Girls losing a V card, middle school, 100 body count by 19. How did we get here? How did we get here? Where is that's just normal? How did we get there? And this is the root of the problem. The single mammy epidemic. The reason why this is a problem, the reason why we actually have to address the issue of not necessarily 304ism, because you can fix that if we retain the families. But we can't retain the families if we're not calling out single mammyism. The government has incentivized women to break up their families. And it started with the Black community, and now then it's basically spread to everybody else. You have women intentionally, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, pushing the father away from the equation. So say if they break up, whether they didn't get married or not, then they break up, or they got divorced and they broke up, what they do is they keep the father away. So that means they will put the kid, whatever kid or daughter, but especially when they have daughters, they will put their daughter, because at the end of the day, the mom has to work. The mom can't stay home all day. They will put the daughter with all these babysitters, all these different family members, all these different babysitters, family members. This is why we're in the position that we're in. Because at the end of the day, women are not going to tell you what really happened to them when they were younger. When you see an OnlyFans model, or you see an adult film star, or you see an escort, 9 times out of 10, and really is really 10 times out of 10, but I'm being nice. 9 times out of 10, they were touched when they were kids. 9 times out of 10, they were touched when they were kids. If you see a woman doing adult film stars, adult scenes or OnlyFans or escorting, or you see a 304 in high school, a known school thought, 9 times out of 10, she was touched when she was a kid. And you gotta wonder, how is that happening? And usually when young people, but particularly when you're talking about young girls, when their innocence is taken from them at a young age, it manifests into overt sexuality. Now, people are wondering, damn, why is all these 304s? They got the high body counts. They're just out there being skeezers. Where's that coming from? Don't you see the correlation between the single mammyism, the increasing, the exponential rate of women being not where the less power that men have in their household, the more stuff, the more open 304s that we got. Don't you see? This is the real problem, because we could chop down the 304ism, the promiscuity and all this stuff that conservatives complain about. We could chop that. We could eliminate 30 to 40% of that. Honestly, I'll say this: we could definitely eliminate 25 to 30% of that off rip if we can make it where we could pass laws to where moms can't break up the home. Because, like I said, I worked with plenty of single moms, and these kids they'll have all these babysitters, and I'm like, can we really trust that? All these different people, these different their brothers, like the single moms will leave them with their brothers, right? And you're just with the mom's brother, and you're like, and then or you'll have these people leave these young girls with certain people, and then the grandma will find out, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, you're not supposed to leave him alone with the kids." And you're just like, "Whoa, what's going on?" This is the problem. The protector is not there. The male protector is not there. And because of the removal of the male protector, they talk about who's protecting our kids. Well, the more times that women are just divorcing their husbands and keeping the custody away from the husbands, right, for nothing, the more whores that we're going to see. The more whores that we're going to see on Fresh and Fit. The more whores that we're going to see on whatever podcast, the Daily Rap Crew, or the show with the really smart ninja with braids. I forgot his name. The dude that got the water thrown on him. the more hoes we're gonna see throwing water at this nigga, right? This is the root of the problem. The reason why that's never gonna be fixed is because then we have to address, okay, why are all these families breaking up? How can we have all these single mothers? And then we're gonna look at, oh, damn near 80% of women initiate divorce, and it's damn near 90% of women that initiate divorces. We got women intentionally becoming single moms. But like I say, the Christians and the conservatives won't address that point. You got the Andrew Wilsons of the world that literally married a single mother. So he's never going to address that point. It's easy to just bash on the 304s that show up on the show. The liberal 304s. They're too far gone. They can't be saved. There's nothing you can do with them. They're damaged. Not really their fault, but it is what it is. But like I said, we could actually solve this problem if we actually start addressing the root of this problem. And the root of the problem is women intentionally breaking up their families, not for the sake of the kids, just because of their feelings. It's just because of their feelings. You don't even, like, at least back in the day, women would have the decency to wait till the kids go to college or something. Now they don't. Now women don't give a F. They don't give a F. They don't care. And even though the results are what they are, in terms of you have a better chance of your kid growing up successful and being trauma-free if the parents stay together, they don't care about that. They don't care about that.
that fat. It's the fat Americans who are extra fat. Most Americans are the same as the British.
Well, our food supply is poison.
Yeah.
It was taken over by one group of people.
And also, I want you to notice something in this video. It's interesting. Once Bill Burr started speaking the truth, you see how quiet it got. you see how like quiet, like the silence. This is how you know somebody's actually talking about some real ish. You're like, oh, okay. This can't make no because you know, let's keep it a bug. They just wanted to get a cheap fat joke routine out of him, right? Same thing that happened to me when I guess somebody set me up. They put me on a podcast with an escort, right? And they thought I was gonna rip on her, like I was joking on the other bras that he bring on. There's nothing to like. She was basically open about what she was as an escort, and this is my menu and all this stuff. I had nothing to say. That's her. She's literally telling you who she is. There's nothing for me to say. If you're telling me who you are, then it's no problem for me. I'm not gonna bang on an escort for not being a wife. I mean, I'm wasting my time. I'm not doing that.
And they own the rights to the seeds and all of that type of stuff. And they forced out all of these farmers. If their seeds blew onto their property, they could sue them for using their seeds.
And not only that, you'll have certain farmers were complaining because they were being sold fake seeds. And I remember people dismissed it. I'm not going to get into that, but people didn't understand, like, oh, shoot, if they did that to them, that could definitely happen to us. But nobody could ever put two and two together on that end.
Seeds. And the media just ignored all of that because they get paid by them. That's sort of what is going on globally, is everybody's is just choosing money.
Yes. So at the end of the day, it's a money thing. At the end of the day, the people in charge are choosing money over the people. The elites, the rich people in charge, they care nothing about it. I'm talking about nothing. Don't ever think these politicians or these, you know, the clergy, right? The people that run the banks, they care nothing. We're just numbers to them. We're just numbers to them.
Bag, as fucking kids say nowadays. That's what the problem is. Nobody is, everybody's screaming and yelling about shit that doesn't matter. Like stand-up comedians, they'll yell about that, but they won't talk about literally people poisoning their own countrymen. I mean, they should be.
Shout out, like I said, there's only a few comedians actually talking about that. Corey Holcomb is one of them. He has repeatedly talked about how our food supply is poison.
He fucking put to death for what they did. There you go. There's a hot take. I mean, I know if I did it, if I fucking went to one donut shop and put something in a fucking donut that hurt somebody or caused them to have some sort of medical episode, I would not be sitting here right now. But they somehow.
Oh yeah, by the way, when he was talking about the seeds and all this stuff blowing onto the property, the people in charge of that starts with the letter M, but we're gonna let that go.
You know how it is. Catholic Church can do what they do, kind of move people around, and everything's all right as long as you fucking, you.
Also, the Catholic Church, they got bank. Just to let you guys know, I'll let you guys do the research. Oh yeah, and by the way, I saw a comment the other day, basically asking for my research for the divorce statistics, and I'm like, these are well-known facts. And then I gave the person, okay, this is the one of these studies, one of the articles that shows the studies, and he still was trying to poke. I'm like, this is why you don't even give the normies the studies anymore, because they're just gonna see what they want to see. And he's like, well, the article was talking about how women weren't even the problem. Of course they're not. What article is going to say that women are the problem? That's why I gave you this normie article with the normie research, because it's still going to show you the percentage that I said was going to be on there. 70 to 80% divorces initiated by women. And you literally give people the proof, which I don't. I fell for the trap the other day. I gave them just one of the links, even though you could just literally search this stuff up. This guy was just. It's not he was too lazy. It's not that the person was too lazy to do the research. He was afraid to what he was going to find, because you can literally just go on Google, look for the statistics. Not just on Google, you can go on scholarly engines, websites. But I know people don't do that. I still do that from time to time. But I know most people are not going to do that. You can literally just go on Google and look this stuff up, and it's going to tell you exactly what I said. You don't have to take. You could do the research yourself, but no, you got to send me the link. Even though this is well-known fact, you send them the link. We need more proof. This is why I don't send people stuff. Because I remember I used to do this though. I used to send people studies and all this stuff. You're like, well, you just gave me the article. And I'm like, they showed you the sources. The reason why I showed you this article, because it was a normie paper, but it actually used scholarly research. It showed you the name of the scholarly research that they pulled the data from, the university, the university studies and surveys. It shows you the links. That's why I showed you that specific link. And you think you're doing these people a favor, and they're not looking for the truth. They're not looking for the truth. People are not really looking for the truth, man.
You're paying people, it's good. So that's what it is.
And yeah, and not like I said, not one time have I given people like the proof or the links to my studies. I have not one time had somebody come back to me and be like, look, thank you for giving me the studies. You were right. I didn't know. Thank you for giving me this information. Not one time. So it just showed. That's why I really should have been like, dude, leave me alone. Because you could, like, what he was asking specifically, where did you get this divorce statistic from? And I'm like, you could literally look this stuff up. It's I want the link, the research. Giving the link of research. This isn't good enough. Did you see the context of the article? They're saying that women aren't the problem. And I'm like, you asked me specifically, where did I get the statistic from? This is the statistic. But anyway, like I said, people don't want the truth. People just straight up don't want the truth, man.